Let's have a look. Let's see if that's working for you. I think it might be now. Give me a second. Evening, everyone. Can you hear me yet? Oh, go on the steam front. How's that going for you? Are we up and running? I'll just wait till somebody says you can't lip read. That's better. There you go. Right, we're in. So, evening, everybody. Once again, I'll go through it once again. Evening, Charles. Evening from a rainy evening in South Yorkshire. Evening, John. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody on the other side of the pond. Steve says you're more Western Desert Bolts action and Kings of War stuff. John's painting more webbing on your late war Brits. Jonas, evening to you. Conway, evening. Carl, evening to you. Let's see who else is in. Who's in? There we go. Evening, Ken. Good to have you on. Good evening, Ralph. So, there we go. A bunch of you in. 12 people watching. 2 likes. Hit that like button. If I don't say it now, I'll always forget. So, how is everybody? Hopefully you all saw the recent video. The most recent video. I've been putting lots of videos. Barnes White. Evening, Barnes. Good to have you on board. A lot of videos have gone out recently. I was going to put out a different video this week, but the Through the Mud and the Blood turned up from Rich over at Two Fat Lardies, so I thought I'll put that video together and get that out, and then it's done, and that's another one in the bag. But I put out a lot of videos with the arrival of Through the Never Mind the Bill Hooks the other day. I did a review of, because I wanted to get that out before the thing was released, because I've been waiting for that as well for a little while. Good fun going. Hey, hopefully you all saw the review of that. Hopefully you all saw the O Group game as well that I did. I put out this weekend. Evening, Sean. Good to have you on board. Emmanuel Miron, what are you working on tonight? Emiliano, sorry, I could barely read your name there. Tonight, I've currently got a load of First World War Germans on the bench. This is 15mm Peter Pig ones. They're kind of slightly overwhelming me a little bit at the moment now, because I've got the full platoon here of 40 plus big men and supports and things. So what I think I'm going to do tonight, evening, Paul Barker. Don't spoil the end of the old group video. I can't, to be honest, John. It was recorded so long ago. I can't remember when it was done. Conway's painting some 12mm World War I figures. Excellent from Gators Games. You blame me for it. Oh dear. Andrew says, hi Alex, loving that. I'm assuming you pressed return too fast on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably try to tackle these ones, and I'm going to do the full platoon later in the week. I want to get these done really by the end of the evening, Terry. I want to get these done by the end of the week. But before I do all that, the other thing that I wanted to do as well, which is something which I haven't been working on, is these ruined cottages for the First World War. Evening, Nigel. Good to have you on board. The First World War stuff at the moment looks great. Thanks, Andy. I'm glad you like it. I like it a lot, and I've kind of reinvigorated myself for the First World War recently. It's always been an interest of mine, as I'm sure most of you know, and it's just nice to go back to it again, especially with Through the Mud and the Blood. We had a cracking game this weekend. Me and the chaps here, which I'm going to refight for the Silver Rockhound. Good evening from Texas. Good evening to you. Oh, hello from Texas. It's been a while. No worries, Nigel. Don't worry about it. Nobody's taking notes. So I've got these. These are the cottages 3D printed. No, they're not. Hi, Kev. Good to have you all. Good to have you on board. They're not 3D prints. Hello, John. Good to have you on. Ruined villages look great. Thank you, Nigel. They're actually the walls are from what do they call them? They're ironclad miniatures. I'm waiting for another load of them to come through. And I made them years ago, and I made them on 6-inch squares for square bashing. What I decided to do is mount them individually, so they're a bit more useful for other games. And then I can also, you put them, they're still like on a 6-inch square, so they can still be worked in they can be used in square bashing just by placing them in the 6-inch squares. Shut up, Nigel, Andrew. You will be banned if you bring that up. And these, that I made them. It's got to be about 15 years ago. It's basically rubble made from ballast from railway modelling ballast, which I found the other day. Jonas is batch painting 5 universal carriers for your 8th Army, 28mm, and cat litter. The problem is cat litter looks too much like cat litter in 15mm, so the ballast would have been better. But what I've done is I've basically just revisited them. I've given them a quick repaint, put them on smaller bases. I'm waiting for some more of these walls to come through from Ironclad, as I said, and then what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to get these finished off. They've been varnished earlier, so they've just been sat drying. So tonight I'm just going to get my rubble mix onto them, which don't ask me what it is because I can't actually remember what it was that I made it out of. But it's dead easy. It was like various bits and pieces, and all I do is PVA glue on, rubble mix on top, and then drop PVA glue onto it again that's been really watered down, and then it gives it a couple of days and they will be dry as a bone and all done. So let me know out there what everybody else is working on. So this is the rubble mix, just to show you. There was a time when I was actually selling this, but it didn't really sell very well, so I kind of thought, well, I'll use it. Make sure you sift the cat litter first, unless you're playing through the mud and blood with round smells. Yeah, I have enough of that with my cats. So it's a relatively easy process. So I've got some of this stuff, and I really can't remember. It's like a mix of sand and ballast and all kinds of different stuff, just mixed up together. Really, I've been experimenting with some ballast here. Just to see if I can get it again, and I've given this a wash in Null and oil, and it's not really worked. It's kind of stuck together a bit too much. Your plastic sheet, plastic art sellers in the UK that you recommend? Any plastic? I went. I just looked, Barnes. I just looked on eBay. Just look for I can't remember the name of them. Plastic art, and. You'll just find loads of it. 2mm thick plastic card in A4 sheets. That's where I got it from. It's expensive though anyway, so you know, be aware of that. It's not cheap stuff, but it's good stuff. And that's the bottom line. 28mm Vikings. Struggling to get much done now the clocks have gone back. Just a bit of undercoating. Anyone else find the same? A little bit, to be honest, Nigel. This is the first time. But the first time I've done anything for a while, but then Claire has been here as well, so that's kind of not stopped me painting, but slowed things down a little bit, so spending time with her. Andrew, Huddersfield before or after over Christmas? I'd prefer it before, Andrew, if you can give me some dates and we can work something out, not this weekend but any other. Good evening from the land of Oz again. Evening, Duke Wellington, good stuff. Barnes says cheers. So I've got my little pot here. Carl, you are just tidying up the hobby area tonight, trying to decide what to do next. Well, it's always good to get things tidied up, I think, and just it helps your brain settle a little bit. I try to clear the desk off once I've finished a set of things if I can. It's the easiest way to do it. So let's just get some of this PVA. What else are we doing? Working on 6 28mm Turkle poles for your line ramp. Crusader Force, nearly up to 48 points of troops painted. Ooh, exciting stuff. Do you always do things in points? That's a question, isn't it, for the ages? When you're putting an army together, do you use points? Do you think they're useful in that sense for putting together a basic army of, if it's some new rules or something? Because I very rarely use points. I don't like them much. I use the support points in Chain of Command, but that's generally about it. I usually kick stuff about. Will I get kicked out for painting skeletons? No, you're alright, Ralph, don't you worry. If that's what you're into. Evening, Martin. This is going to keep me company while I write a report. Would you rather be painting your Crusader stuff? Yeah, well. Work comes first, Martin. very important, as you know. The figures I've undercoated are Perry and Warlord 28mm German, including a flamethrower. Nigel doesn't use points. Currently painting 13000 Fiat CR42s for Bag the Hunt. Excellent stuff. Good to hear. Is 13000 or 1300? Sorry, I can't read. It's one of those nights. I've just been watching SAS Rogue Heroes. Despite myself, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's excellent. And quite a few. I think I'm about 3 or 4 into it at this point. It's just great crack, really. Sean's hang on, slow down all of you. What are points? Points in games for for putting armies together. Xenos Rampant ordered, working on some 50mm sci-fi, nice. Hardly ever use points. Yeah, I don't either, really. Acquire figures that I find interesting, usual, and not points. Good man. I've really got my painting mojo back in the moment. Loads over the last few days. Excellent. Always good to hear. Doing Wood Elves, Ralph, so in good company. So yeah, it's alright. There's plenty of fantasy going on out there. Don't worry, you don't get yourself a ban. You're not yet, anyway. You can bring that stuff in if you want, but you have to sit in the corner quietly. Good man. Points are handy for a guide, as long as you know to get obsessive about. Yeah, exactly. They do get a bad press due to power game as well. That's very true. You like Rogue Heroes, but the English was better in my. I didn't watch the English, but I know a lot of people have been talking about it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Rogue Heroes. It just it's like a commando comic on screen, pretty much. You're avoiding that show for economical reasons. Yes, I was also thinking earlier about I could. This would make a nice little war game. So let me just get some of this on just while before this glue dries. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here with the rubble mix. So I really wish I could remember how I made this, because I've had it for such a long time that I've got no idea what I did with it. Stupidly. Where are we at? Bloody hell! Slow down a lot of you. I have to go back a second. Show. Depends on the rules. It allows you to take goals for painting up units. Yeah, I think that's true. It's it's a good starter, isn't it? Repainting, tidying up some 20mm tanks, water tanker, excellent. That's a great game. Points can be helpful for a pickup game and creating a level engagement. That's true. I've got halflings and snake mail on the table. I hope you've taken precautions. Evening, I like the hobby table merged together with your background picture. A lot of painting. Oh, thank you. I've got a few more Reaper Orcs in and a box of 30 Wargs. Evening, James. Working on mounted camels for Lion Rampant and some Carthaginians for Saga. Don't mind using points, but also happy to play without using points. Letting contrast paint around some fantastic battle skirmishes. Love the contrast armor painting videos. Painting dead animals and BEF section. Goal points are useful if you're new to the era rule set and not comfortable creating your own scenarios. Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. Absolutely. Watched one half of the new All Quiet on the Western Front. Okay, I wouldn't watch the other half. I binge watched all episodes of SAS last week. Tell your heads if you want. No, thank you, Terry. Don't. Oh look, Claire's here only to see a cat. Hello, Claire. I thought you weren't going to watch it tonight. I like using points to sort out my armies before I start painting, but I play tournaments. Well, yes, that's where they do come in. Could you not use your archaeology skills to work out what's wrong? That's the problem. I don't really have any skills in archaeology either, Carl. Unfortunately. But yes, potentially I could. So that's basically all that needs doing to it. Now it just needs you found a box of metal D&D figures at your local dollar store. Good stuff, good stuff. Right, I need to get some more of this glue into my little dispenser here. So let's do that. Which dollar store? So I'm assuming there's quite a few of them. Speaking of cats, there is a cat behind me. Like I say, there's 30 people watching this, only 12 likes. Hit that like button, please, folks. It's much appreciated, helps the channel out. And as I say, go and check out 85th Arthur. Wonder if it's US wide. 50 mil 8th Army for me tonight. Basing time. Good stuff. Good stuff. Basing 8th Army is probably pretty easy, isn't it? Sand. Done. The 99 store. Right, let's just... And then it's literally just a case of dribbling this on, and before anybody says it, yes, I could spray it on, but the sprayer is now blocked with glue, so I can't spray it on, I'm afraid. But this just, it's pretty much the same colour as the rest of the thing itself. So I'm just getting the bigger bits, just so that they will be fixed in place when it dries. It doesn't take very long to dry through this stuff either, especially now that the heating's on. Oh, speaking of cats, here is one right behind me. Hello, Tiny. Right. Blimey. Okay, so that's literally how that stuff goes on. How I'm going to do it with the others, I'm not sure yet, because let me show you. These ones are slightly bigger than the actual box itself. Where did Tiny go? Disappeared off. She's down there. She's running about like a lunatic. So these ones are slightly bigger than the actual plastic box. So I'm not sure what to do about these ones. Well, let's just do it. I tell you what, I know how to do it. I've figured it out in my brain. You recently got yourself a 28mm Stug. Everybody should have a Stug. Stug life. Nothing wrong with that. I didn't choose a Stug life. The Stug life chose me. I've got loads of them in 15mm. I think they're great. There we go. Glue sprayers are always a challenge. If you get to run hot water through the spray before going off the shelf again, it always clogs for me. Yeah, mine have never lasted more than about 2 days. I need to get a bigger box. You're right, Claire. You're not wrong. I don't know if I'm allowed to buy a bigger box though, since you're watching now. Right, look, because there's a lot of this, I'm just going to smear the glue over like this. When the other ones arrive, I'll do a full tutorial on these at some point, because they're nice little things to do, and they're useful for many periods, not just First World War. Evening, Ken. Good to have you on board. Stuggy's 3D printed resin, excellent, good stuff. The saviour of the hobby, 3D printing. Right, let's get it all mixed in. Don't know where Tiny's disappeared to. She was here for a second, she's gone now. She's obviously got bored of me. There must be a full moon, the cats are acting weird. Let's just get this stuff all over the place. Then I think that's ready for a bit of stuff to be dropped. Certain things you need for certain armies, Stugs and infantry guns for World War II, for instance. Yeah, exactly. You need tons of them, as many as possible. You need more self-propelled guns for the Germans than you do Tigers, that's for sure. That is for sure. Despite what people think, more Marders, less Panthers. Oh. So we're getting a good audience number tonight, 30 odd of you watching. Who else is out there, all you silent people? Who was it at Steel Lard was telling me they watch it on telly, but oh, it was Ned, was it? So Ned, if you're watching, hello to you. I hope you're awake. And if you are, get on your mobile and say hello in the chat. Oh dear. Let's get this sorted out. So, I don't know, has anybody played End of Days, I think it's called? Me and Dean are going to play it this week at the club. He's introducing it to me. I don't know what it is. A zombie game or something, I think. It probably is, because he's got about 1,000 of them. Has anyone played it? Does anybody know it? There we are. Andy, friends of General Haig, based in 28mm Finnish cavalry, 30 years Wars and Knights. Excellent. Don't use points, tend to research historical loops. Yeah, I prefer a historical loop. I think, as people have said as well, points are good for, an introductory thing for people to jump off with, much as anything else. There are some great 3D producers on Etsy these days. Yeah, bought Platoon of British Parajeeps and Matilda Mark 1 recently. Resin prints are at least 4K. Good stuff. Yeah, they are. Comes on in leaps and bounds, doesn't it? It really is good. Old Sabotage and his great work over here in the UK is well worth praising. Let's have a look at my favourite German vehicle, Marder 1. Yeah, it's one of my favourites. Not Marder 1, but it's certainly Marder is up there. How did you get to go to Steel Lard? I went to the one in 2019. Tom invited me first time. Sean says never heard of it. I'm assuming that's End Days or whatever it's called. I can't remember. I'm probably saying it wrong. Every day I wake up feels like we're playing End Days. Working on getting through the rules for Hex and Counter game. Used to like the MPVs. Special rules for the Mighty Endeavour are complicated. Ride can't be stopped. You need to base them if they're finished. Just like to say, Steel, that was awesome. Great fun. Yeah, it certainly was, wasn't it, Ken? It was great. Good to see you as well. And it's a good... Patriot Games is a great venue. Very well catered and in a pretty good location as well. It's not central, but it's certainly not hard to get to, and there's plenty of car parks around. It was good crack. Right, that's this one done. How did I get to go to it? Is what Nigel said. Yeah, Tom Davis invited me 3 years ago, and then I've just kind of stayed on the mailing list. I think Rich Too Fat Lardies is going to be doing a calendar of all the lard events for 2023, because I think there's a hell of a lot more nowadays than there ever was. So check out that, and that probably will have, I would hope, would have contact details on. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix in as much of this stuff as possible. I don't want to soak it in PVA, because it will take forever to dry, but I want the bits and pieces to be pretty solid and gameable. You know what it's like. Let's have a look. Hang on a second. I'm going to slow down. So Steel Lard isn't open to the public. Yes and no. It's you basically just have to ask to go to it. It's like all the lardy days. The problem with them is it's getting to know the person who to contact. In this case, it was Rich Crawley. Once you've got his email address, all you have to do is just drop him an email. There's generally space for everybody, because there's, well, for most people, obviously there's a finite amount of space in the and a finite amount of games on. So it's that's the thing that limits it. It's just the amount of people putting games on. But this one, there's got to be at least 10 or 12. Shaco says around the corner from your office. It's next door to where Claire and I had our engagement part. Well, our first part of our wedding, our wedding meal. I nearly said engagement party. Then that was here in Rotherham. Found some STLs from Modern Swedish Army in 20mm. Excellent. GPMGs and beards seems about right. Damn it, someone mentioned 3D printing. Why do you have to drink? No, it was only for Ken yesterday, John. I did ask nicely to go to Steel Lard. I'll ask to no avail. Oh, did you get in touch with Rich? Did he reply to you? Maybe you missed your email address. Or the email you sent, Nigel. I don't know what the deal was. But I know there's certainly some more coming up next year. The lads, Tim over at Like a Stonewall group, they're going to be starting one as well. Evening, James. Come over to see you, Mr. Turnby game. I missed you a lot, bit of a shame as a last trip to Sheffield, mainly for beers and hot pot rolls, to be fair. And he's good crack, certainly is. Offering to run a game is a way to get a place at a Lardy Day. That is true, that is very true, Rob. Cheers, Nigel. We'll be doing another Lard Day in Mansfield. There you go, that's the Mansfield one. Mostly Lily, most likely. Chose not to do that drinking game today. Yesterday, still today. Yeah, it's thoroughly recommend any Lard Day. Really, they're all great. I've not been to a bad one yet, and it's just a nice mix of games, people, and fun and laughter and all that stuff. Even though I was too tired to go to the curry afterwards, but you know, it is what it is. That's what happens when you run 2 games intensely in the day. Just I've got a text message, maybe from my wife, saying good night, perhaps. I'm not sure. No, she's asking if we had an engagement party. Nigel, if you get in touch with Tim over at the sure it's called Like a Stonewall group, they're on Facebook. I just drop Tim a message. I think it's in April time, and I can't remember the date of it off the top of my head. Yeah, Tim sent me a message a while back, but yes, and it's only as Ken says there, it's only a work in progress at the moment. I think I've got a feeling it's something like the 29th of April. If other things don't come up, then I'll probably be doing a Through the Mud and the Blood game, I think. I'm not sure which one yet. Maybe British Cavalry at Highwood. Who knows? Could do the Australians at Poitiers, but I've had that before already. She says you wouldn't realise you would talk about our messages on YouTube. Well, don't message me and I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it on YouTube. That's from my wife. Modelling says, am I sporting a haircut there? Yes, I got my haircut the other week. It was getting a bit out of hand. Running games is exhausting. The other half an hour are going to refuse to do any more Saturday night games at the shows in Florida simply because we were wiped out the next day to drive. Yeah, I should have really run a game in the morning or even afternoon and then played a game in the afternoon and let somebody else take the strain. I didn't really think about it, but that probably would have been a better idea, really. I mean, it was still good fun, but it's because you're in a noisy location and you're shouting, you also got to know the rules. And the first game I was playing with 4 people who'd never played the game before. Second game I was playing with 6 people who'd never played the game before. So each one of those has pretty much got to be told how to play the game in the first instance, and then it's a lot of mental strain, and then you're standing up as well. That takes it out of you for 3 or 4 hours straight in pretty much in one position. It's still a good laugh though. Still enjoying it. Where are we at? I guess it's best to wash resin prints before printing. I'm assuming so. Sorry, a bit late, Shed. Paul, no worries. Evening, Alex and everyone. Kev at Highwood would be great. It would be, but it's a tough one because the cavalry either get splattered very quickly or the Germans do. There you go. Confirmed. 29th April 23 is the provisional date for Mansfield. There you go. If the prince is clean and cured by the producer should only have to wipe a little, at least from your experience. There we go. Right, let me just get some more of this stuff over here. We've got 37 people watching tonight. Hit that like button, folks, don't forget. Well, or hit the dislike button if you don't like it. I've still got my rogue disliker on all my videos. There's always one down like, which you know, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Right, let's just put those up. We're getting there. And also say hello as well. There's quite a lot. Running games is great fun, but it does take you out, especially when you're in your 60s. I'm sure you feel half that age though, Ken. But yeah, you need to keep hydrated. There you go. Lessons for running games. Stay hydrated and in good humour. I think is a thing to do. I'm going to try Great Escape games tomorrow night. Okay. Where are we at? Sorry, I'm running things. You've either got to know the rules, or in my case, appear to know the rules and sound cool. Yes, that's it. Linda. Oh, certainly it's a good laugh. That's why I keep running games. It does help to run more than one person. Yeah, I can imagine. You're going to try the Great Escape games tomorrow. That's the 1914, is it, Michael? I'm the rules master, kid. You're advised to even stream it. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Shall look out for that. I think it'll be an interesting game, that's actually. It's simple, but you know, it'll be fast playing, and the emphasis there is on command, I think, more than anything else, which is a decent thing. I certainly think it'll be interesting to see how it's actually played. So I'll check that out. What else? What are we saying? As Marx said, you're only as old as the woman you feel. Is that Karl Marx? No painting tonight. Got a Zoom game of Kiss Me Hardy with some chums on, part of a little campaign we've been running sporadically. Good stuff. A good bit of Kiss Me Hardy, never hurt anybody. Let's have a look at this one. This is the next one. I've got 6 of these to do. How long has it taken me so far to do 3? Half an hour. I think I'm probably only going to be doing these tonight. So I was going to do some work on these Germans, but they're going to have to wait, I think. Wait till later in the week. Still not blown away how big the Reading Club show was. Which one was that? That was Warfare, wasn't it? Reading. I've never been down to it. It's just slightly too far away. You never know, I might make it down one day. Oh, no, it wasn't Selby, because that's South East London. It even says it in the name. He says as he talks to himself, a Communist Manifesto after dark. Their models are gorgeous for the scale. The 12mm ones, yeah, they do certainly look nice. It's just yet another scale that I don't want to get into. I'm a 15mm man. That's what I do. Yeah, Warfare. There you go. It's nice to be able to rescue these buildings after all these years. It's just I noticed down at the club when I took them down the other week, I noticed that the bases were all warped. They've been around for such a long time. 35 watching, 30 likes. Come on, fellas. Nice one. Indeed. Fellas and ladies. I think my wife's still watching. Let's just go. There we go. Get right into those corners. Get it right in. And oops, water all in my hands. MFA has a video and interviews. Yeah. I was watching the Selwig ones recently. Yay, 50mm. Warfare was a cracking show. Really enjoyed it. Yes, it was a big one. Walked up from the station, past an air museum, which looked really interesting. Would have gone. Warfare always reminds me of the smell of chlorine, as I used to be held in the municipal pleasure centre next to swoon baths. I spent too much time mooching about in the show. Well, next time. Make time for it next time, I guess. That's the only thing you can do, isn't it, James? Which air museum was it? I'm not sure which one is down. One's down there. I don't know if you if people saw on the community post. I went over to Hendon recently, and also the Shuttleworth collection. That was bloody expensive. It was £25 to get in, and I only wanted to see the aeroplanes. It's because you get the ticket to go to the house and the gardens and things. It's a bit of a shame that they don't break it down and just do an aeroplane visit and a house and a garden visit. Yay, 15mm, indeed. Everything should be 15mm. Let's just get this shook out. This is it always reminds me of archaeology when I'm sorting through this stuff, because it's what we describe stones as well sorted, moderately sorted, badly sorted. And I try to get all the stones sorted so they come up to the top. Unsorted. It's a way of describing various fills of archaeological features. It's like panning for gold, but it's not gold. It's tiny little stones. All the shows in the UK make me serious kind of moving back in a few years. Well, there feels like there's one every week, or at least one every month, John, so they are pretty what's the word, regular, and generally pretty good as well. That's the other thing. Maybe I think I'm running out of small stones for this stuff now. Don't know if I've got any more of this. I hope I have, because otherwise it's just going to be dust, brick dust. Not a bad thing, but it's not really what I want. Farnborough Air Science Museum, I think it was, had some lovely kit out of the front. Raspberry Ripple test livery, excellent. Yeah, the name rings a bell now. Yeah, you're kind of spoilt for choice for shows in the UK, that's for sure. Even if you live in the north or in the south, there's loads to go to. There's loads to do. I always assume that's where your base materials come from. Dig waste piles. No, it doesn't. I have stolen sand off builders' yards though in the past, rather than buy it. But yes, this is homemade stuff. Where's my bottle of stuff gone? Yeah. It's always very messy, isn't it? That's a problem. Well, I've done 3 of the 6. So I'm going to try to get these done tonight, I think. Oops. It's like decanting a fine wine. And getting it all over the place. See, this is what you get on these live streams, warts and all. Right, let's get that cleaned up. We're Roman, First World War Army base with Roman artifacts. How long run train ride if you go full length of England or full width? It's hard to say actually. From me, and I'm about central in the country, down to London, it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. That's so from the central. But if you go further, if you go right up north, up into Scotland, it's going to be another 5 or 6 hours. I would have thought. Yeah, if you go all the way down to Brighton's, what, about another hour or so below London. So probably about four hours down to Brighton, which is in the south coast, but that's still not the very bottom because that's not Cornwall or Devon or those places down there. It's yeah, quite a long time. I would have thought. Put it this way: it takes me 5 hours or so to drive to the bottom of Scotland, or the bottom end of Scotland. It's about 5 hours up to Edinburgh from me by car. So quite a way. There you go. I've based with beach sand before, but then you've got to sift that. The problem to Catled's, yes. Fine wine up north. Surely some mistake. Evening, Chris. You can do Plymouth to Inverness in about 14 hours. Yeah, that's probably what I would say. I'm sure if you're just tidying up the sand off the pavement, stop anyone slipping on it. I think Penzance to Aberdeen is 15 odd hours. And yes, what's our trains? Yeah, so thereabouts. That's the problem though, is once there isn't a direct train from bottom to north, so it'd take you quite a while because you'd have to keep changing trains. And that's the issue really, it's delays and cancellations. You can have 2 days, there you go. I was wondering, because most of the shows out to my state are 2 days drive plus train's not really an option. Yeah, you'll be lucky at the moment. But yeah, you don't really have a great train system in the States though, do you anyway? That's the problem, I think, isn't it? Covered. It's a bit better covered here in the UK, but even so. Sheffield is in the middle of the country. Does that make it the Midlands? No, because it's the middle of Britain, not the middle of England. It's the north of England. Before you start. And anyway, I'm from Rotherham, which is north of Sheffield. So you can get that ridiculous idea out of your head straight away. I'll have you banned off this stream if you keep that up. Just get these bad boys cleaned up. Only got a couple more. I think I'm just going to do these tonight, to be honest. I've been at it for 45 minutes, so it's an hour, that's done. I'll stick them on the radiator and then they will be dry when I put the heating on again tomorrow. So yeah, I'll probably just leave them at this, I think, but that's 2 of these. That's 2 of these. 2 of these. 6 of these done. I've still got 2 more to do. So I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm just thinking out loud, looking at the time. Imagine. No wrong with the Midlands. Automobile manufacturers lobbied highways over trains back in the day. Yeah, there you go. Claiming Sheffield's the Midlands. That's the banhammer out. Absolutely. Not wrong with the Midlands. If you're from London, the North Stars of Watford. Absolutely. North Stars of Watford Gap. There you go. A confirmation there, John. For such a small country, it's interesting how parochial we are in the UK. But you know, us Yorkshire folk, we'll stick together, unless of course we're talking amongst ourselves. Then obviously South Yorkshire is best out of all of them. Right, that's that one done. North Star's just north of Bristol, isn't it? North Star's at Worksop. See? See, nobody can agree. Ah yes, look. I do have more rubble. Hooray! I've also got this as well, grey weathering powder, which I can't remember where I made this myself. Long before I started using industrial manufactured ones. I can't get it open, so I daren't look in that. It'd be like opening a mummy's tomb or something. But look, I've got more of this stuff here. So I made loads of it ages ago. Let's see if I can get this one open. South York's not even riding. Get lost. It's not even riding. MFO, are you on tonight, Michael? We still need to sort out a date in the new year for me to come on your stream. I'm still up for it. I just haven't had a chance to think about it at the moment, I'm afraid. Yorkshire folk. We have strong rivalries each other, but joint forces and else puts in absolutely. North don't even start in England. Yeah, you could say that. Spot on, James. Wales now, thanks. Just another country. So I learned recently the English Civil War resulted in Charles first being executed. Don't know why any English kings were executed prior. Didn't know any English kings were executed prior. I'm not sure, not my period of history. I'm sure somebody in the chat will inform us of English monarchs that have been executed. I'm sure there's plenty of them. Rolling around with chair laugh. Get lost. Get lost. Get knotted. Well, I don't want to get a monetized strike against me, do I, John? You know, got to keep my my language in order, so that YouTube don't banhammer me. Where'd the phrase banhammer come from, anyway? I know I've seen it. A lot of people use it on TMP, or about TMP. Not that I post there anymore. Those days are long over. Right. So once again, I'm just trying to get the good stuff out of this, like an old-timey gold panner. Can't believe there's World War III has started out in the keep the war room clean, boys. Yeah, it's hard, exactly. Exactly. Amazed TMP is still going. Yeah, I think TMP is amazed that TMP is still going. Yes. Richard III was possibly Richard II was probably starved to death. First of the bedhammer when it was used in SWG online forums, used it often. Yeah, I think it's an old internet phrase, isn't it? Pretty well known one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start getting a banhammer out here. Right. Come on, last bits. Right, let me just get some sandier stuff on this to mix everything in a bit. So what I wanted to achieve with these buildings when I first made them was a pulverised look, really, of villages like Pozières and places that had just been absolutely smashed to pieces, but had not yet turned into brick smears. But we're kind of halfway there, so there was still some semblance of building material about. That was the idea. Whether that was achieved or not is a different matter. Let's have a look at the... Yeah, Banhammer's been around since the start of the internet, absolutely. Henry VI was executed, and Monmouth, claimant of the throne, was executed. English Civil War, Watch the movie Cromwell. Few kings died on the battlefield. What did Henry VI do? Some queens went to the scaffold. Yes, that's true. Just get these last little bits out here. And then I've got one more to do. There we go. Of course, not everything, not all of these is going to be completely stuck in place. There will be some casualties, but as long as I can fix as much of it in place as possible, so it's good for gaming with. That's really what it's all about. Okay, that's that one. Then we've got this one here. We're talking about some queens went to scaffold, curious about the reason and social conditioning leading kings removed or overthrown. Henry VI was Lancastrian king of the War of the Roses. Edward IV having killed. Lady Jane Grey was executed in 54. She was also monarch, albeit briefly. Every day is a school day. Don't say you don't get interesting historical facts while you're watching these streams. Even if they're in chat and not from me, because there's a period of time I know nothing about the British monarchs. I keep forgetting we've got a new one. It always sounds weird when somebody says King Charles. Which one was he allegedly assassinated with the red pug? Wasn't that one of the Edwards? Oh, I might know. Some people have said Charles I, King and Martyr, was executed by a military junta. There you go. Well, let's get this one done. Yeah, I think I was being a little ambitious in thinking about painting those Germans tonight. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to. I'll finish this one up, and then I will leave these to dry, and I will I'll go back to watching Rogue Heroes, I think. Don't forget, there's a copy of Through the Mud and the Blood to be won, the very last copy to leave Lard Island. It's currently all you have to do is go over and comment on the latest video, and you'll get in the draw for potentially winning that. Competition ends on Sunday. Really nice of Rich to do that. You can get it PDF as well. I keep thinking you're talking about their dog. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh, the Charles. King Charles Spaniel. Yeah, the old Queen was more famous for corgis, wouldn't she, though? That was Edward II, John. There you go. Like I say, every day is a school day. Hit yourself on the chat and you'll find out something new. Let's have a look. Well, we've got a good audience tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It's much appreciated. It's always nice to see. and hopefully it helps people do a bit of painting as well for an hour or so. She's currently drinking a Steeworthy beer, passion fruit, orange and guava IPA. Hey, blimey, that sounds like a concoction and a half. Right, that's all the big stuff. I probably really should sieve this and get some of the bigger stuff out of it. I think I might do that. That might be a rather than doing it this way. Yeah, I think I will. I can sieve it into two different tubs that way. And have the bigger stuff and the smaller stuff. I just wish I could remember how I made the bloody thing. That would be a fine thing to know. What's that? What is that? It looks like some kind of figure. Can't even tell what it is. Who knows? Anyway, sorry, I'm losing myself here. Let me just get these finished up. What are we on about? Wonder if we Swedes should have taken Ney instead of Bernadotte as king. Would have been interesting. It's absolutely. He's modelling for. I don't know. Are you on tonight, Michael? Let us know in the comments if you are, and if they are, everybody pop over there. Go and say hello. Share a like. Let's have a look. You watched a documentary about the first tank engagements World War I. They made it out the Germans sold us. That was one of the first tanks. They pretty much did. They had tank fright. Yeah, it was. I mean, it passed pretty quick, but yeah, the first time they saw them in action, they managed to cover up the noise of the attack. Netflix is a good documentary on the Hollywood directors who left the film industry. 5 came back. I think I started watching that a couple of years ago, actually, John. It is on, or at least it was on the UK Netflix. Yeah, I was enjoying it. I can't remember why I stopped watching it. Yeah, it's about the some of the famous directors. Just get this last little bit on here. I'm going to stick all these on the radiator. Every tank in World War I is a Tiger. Yeah, I don't think they were around there. 5 came back. Was quite good. There you go. Yeah, it was probably one of the first things I started watching when I first got Netflix. As I said, I can't remember why I stopped watching it. Probably because there was so much other stuff to watch. I was going to say Tiger Fear. Well, you've got to remember, in September of 1916, the Germans didn't have anti-tank guns or anti-tank rifles or any knowledge of the tanks because they were kept so secret. And their attack at Flers Courcelette was covered up, and they got them into place overnight. If anything, they were probably rushed into action a little bit too early because they'd still not really ironed out how useful they were. To be fair, by 1918 they still weren't that useful. But Haig wanted them in the line, and he wanted them to be used. Oh, right. Okay. Falmouth in Cornwall still has a parish church dedicated to Charles, King and Martyr. King Edmund, also martyr, was gruesomely executed by Vikings. Blood Eagle, yes. I recall that, hearing about that. Right. That's them done. So I think what I'm going to do there is I'm going to leave that tonight. So that's been an hour. Just over an hour. So I'm going to leave it to that tonight, because if I start anything else, it's going to take a while to get going. I don't really want to, because I'm going up to the office tomorrow up at Catterick, so it's going to be quite a drive. So I don't really want to have too much of a late night painting tonight. I managed to get quite a lot done there. I'm quite chuffed with that. You're surprised to learn there's AP bullets in World War One and how vulnerable tanks. Yeah, I mean, tanks were vulnerable to normal machine gun bullets because they create a bullet splash on the inside of the tank. A bottle of liquid does not look very drinkable. No, don't drink that. Oh yeah, the first use of tanks. It's way too early. About as bad as having the Panthers at Kursk. But then also, you know, they need to know. They need to use these things, and you know they were trying to win a war. So, you know, you put this stuff in the front line. Right. So yes, I'm going to say good night there, everybody. So thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have, hit that like button. If you haven't, hit the dislike button. And I shall see you all probably next week for another painting chat. So, good stuff. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody over in America. And happy 22nd of November for all those in the UK. And I shall see you soon. Bye bye.